Donuts. Welcome to the Dolls and Donuts podcast, episode 29. In today's episode, we're going to tell you about what's going on in the animal rights community, what's been happening in Robin's Vegan Dollhouse, and we have guest Hannah Kaminsky joining us again.
And by again, we mean that she was on episode number 5 for anybody who has listened to us from the beginning, which is probably like one of you.
And if you haven't, then this is a good opportunity to start from the beginning.
Or just skip to 5. No one's going to know.
I will know. When I'm hiding in your closet looking out when you're sleeping, I will know.
I guess you should start with 1.
When you're in your car and you're in commute and you've skipped to episode 5, I'm going to pop up from behind your driver's seat and
with a machete.
You.
Oh, I'm trying to think of all the times I've seen people
wag my finger at you shamefully with no machete.
All right, no machete. I haven't watched any horror movies in a while. Maybe they just wag their fingers nowadays.
One that we just watched was The Ritual. It just came out on Netflix. Have you seen that yet? Because last podcast they got like paid. It was like an ad, so they were talking about the podcast, and then on Instagram that night they were like, "We're into The Ritual. We're getting paid to tell you to watch The Ritual." So Matt and I were like, "Let's actually see what it is," and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
was there a machete or a finger wag?
There is a machete, no finger wagging, not literal. There is some like not actual finger wagging, but there is a machete.
Look at that. I didn't even need to see it. I already know what it's all about.
Well, it's not all it's about, but there's a machete cameo. So if you're looking for something it's creepy. It is definitely Cloverfield meets Blair Witch Project, if that strikes your
I don't know
fancy.
Cloverfield, but I like Blair Witch.
I love Cloverfield.
It's scary?
It's, I don't know. It didn't scare me, but it was definitely creepy, and it could scare up some people. Because there's been 3 Cloverfield movies now.
Oh.
But the first one's really the best one. The third one, just like during the Super Bowl, like it was been rumored for years that the third one was going to be made. And then during the Super Bowl, it was like they showed a trailer and then they said like now streaming on Netflix. Like, so no one knew it was even coming out. So like we watched it that night.
Oh, I thought it was like streaming, like trying to be competition for the Super Bowl.
It was an ad. It was a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Hey, if you're really into Cloverfield, some people probably turned off the Super Bowl and watched it. So, but we watched it that night, and so you don't know anything. Watch the first one and see if you like it. The first one's found footage, like Blair Witch.
Oh, okay, good.
So it's similar style. The other 2 are not found footage.
Oh, okay.
But this isn't found footage, but the shooting style is traditional. But those are like, if those 2 movies kind of married each other, it would be The Ritual. So,
okay.
If you're looking for something scary, that's something we watched recently that was pretty creepy. It was pretty good.
Do you know if the first Cloverfield's on Netflix?
I don't know. I own it, so I don't know.
Ooh la la.
I just love that movie. I saw it in the theater, and I was like, oh my God. It was like the only scary movie. I don't really go to see scary movies in the theater generally. I'm not a huge horror fan. But I remember I yelled out loud in the theater because it startled me. Because there's always those moments,
Yeah, I don't like those.
I went, ah, in the theater. And I was like, oh my God, I've never done that before. I just remember that. And I just love the first Cloverfield. Anyway, how do we get into that? I don't know, but there's my recommendation if you're looking for something to watch tonight. And you have Netflix. So.
Yes.
Oh, machete.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we got into this.
All about you with the machete. I do want to make a public service announcement that our podcast is on a new hosting platform, and I don't know how this affects the listeners, but I've been told by FAQ pages that there's...
Very trusty, and we have complete confidence in these FAQ pages.
There's a chance you might have to resubscribe because you'll have become unsubscribed. And
perhaps.
There's also a chance that episodes you already listened to will show up as that you didn't listen to them, and if that happens, I'm so sorry.
We don't have that many. That's happened to me when I listen to a podcast and they switch. It looks like, it's like, oh, now there's 200 brand new episodes of this podcast. I'm like, well, I know that's not true. And I look back and it's like just years and years and years of past ones that I've listened to or I did, So we only don't have that many, so it shouldn't be a big issue. But if you are having a few weird issues, that's why. But there shouldn't be any big problems. So
Yeah, so we updated it on all the places that you listen, but I'm just not 100% sure how it's going to affect you as the listener, but know that...
Ideally, it won't. But if you if you do see something funny, that's probably why.
Yeah. And if you haven't already subscribed, you just should.
Yeah,
because we're awesome.
Go. 2 birds, 1 scone.
2 birds, 1 scone, which reminds me I need to tell you a story after this.
We always say stuff like that on the podcast. Whenever I'm driving home, I'm like, shit. I always say, I'm going to tell you something afterwards, or I'm going to show you something afterwards, and we never talk about it again, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, just remember.
I know. I've told you about this before, and I wanted to complain about it, too. And so this is the second time now that I've remembered, so I have to tell you.
Okay. All right.
Just remind me the 2 birds, 1 scone, and then I'll know.
I'll try. Because we referenced the, last episode we referenced the Ace Ventura clip, or like the scene where he walks into like the room with all the dead animals, and I was like, I'll show you it after we're done.
And then
I never told you. I was driving home. I'm like, shit. I forgot to tell her about it. Show her
The
that.
problem is we record this before your dinner time.
Yeah.
So by the time we're done recording, you're like, gotta go,
bye.
There's like you leave a streak.
Calling Matt. I'm like, is the oven preheated? Okay, put the food in. I'm like, countdown. Like, I want my food ready when I walk in the door. Yeah. Priorities. I got my priorities.
I know.
So, if I had Hannah's cookbook, I could have my dinner ready in 10 minutes. You'll hear more about that later. A little teaser for you. Teaser trailer.
So now it's time for Ask Ashley.
That's me.
So Ashley, what's up with the animals these days?
Okay, so some stuff. Let's just say that. Some stuff. Let me get my notes up here. I'm prepared. Okay, so the first story, it's good. Let's leave it at that. Okay, so Runaway carriage horse makes new friend, becomes symbol for animal activists. So, last month or maybe early February, a New York carriage horse, they go around Central Park and pull all these annoying tourists, was spooked by a man that was like opening his umbrella, and some people, like, he was just shaking it because it was like, it was raining or something, like, there was water on it he was trying to shake off or something. People said he was doing that and he yelled or something. Anyway, this guy spooked one of the carriage horses and he took off. And he was like just going through traffic and
with the carriage attached?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
The driver was thrown from the carriage.
Oh,
there was like 3 Texans in the back. I guess that's what you get for being a red state. And the only reason it stopped was because it got wedged between 2 cars. Like, the cars were like destroyed, but it got stopped between 2 cars because the carriage
thing.
So the horse ran through, but the carriage got stuck behind it and lodged it, and then that's the only way. That's the only reason the horse stopped. So, this was like, I remember when this happened, everyone's like, oh no, like, another reason why, like, horses don't belong in freaking Manhattan.
Yep.
Okay. So there were like injuries, but nobody was like seriously hurt. So,
the Texans were probably like, woo, this is the ride of our lives.
It's like the rodeo. Ain't it, Sally? It's like we went to the rodeo last week. God. Sorry, I have family from Texas. Now, everybody sounds like that, but I'm just going there. I'm just going for it. You can send my hate mail on right now.
Does your family sound like that?
No, my family's Mexican, so.
Oh, okay.
My family from Texas is Mexican, so they don't sound like.
They don't have
like cowboys or.
Because they haven't been there long enough to.
No, they have. It's just they live in El Paso, so it's basically like Mexico. It's not like. Texas Tech. I mean, it's Texas,
so other cities in Texas have more.
It's a big state, so they have like varying, accents and cultural things within Texas. So yeah. So no, my family doesn't talk that way. They mostly speak Spanish. They speak English, but if you're gonna give them like an accent, it's gonna be like a Spanish accent. Okay. Anyway, sidetrack. So the owner of the horse donated him to Blue Star, which is basically a
donut place. Sorry.
Also, don't be eating there anymore if they donated a horse to it. Which is basically a sanctuary for carriage horses. So obviously that sanctuary is like obviously very closely linked to the carriage industry. So there's a little bit of mistrust, with this place. I don't know. I mean, apparently it says that he would probably be like doing recreational pulling for visitors, so he will probably still be pulling people.
What?
But he won't be in the city. There was a lot of concern that he was just going to be sold to slaughter. That he could still be put back into like working as a carriage horse or whatever. So he like made best friends with an older horse there too. So that was cute. So hopefully he's there and it's good and they won't be taking advantage of him. There's a lot of back and forth in this article about whether it's the right place for him, whether he should be there. Of course, the animal rights organizations want to take him to somewhere that like they've vetted. You know what I mean? I want him to live somewhere where they vetted. There's a little back and forth. But he is not pulling in New York City anymore, so that's a good thing.
So all you other New York City horses, you want to know how to get out of it,
Throw some Texans on their ass.
Just have a little horsey tantrum.
Yeah.
And then you get to go to the happy place.
Unless they just kill you. It's a gamble, I guess, so...
Do you think that nowadays, since everybody is always walking around with little pocket video cameras, that it helps keep people more accountable for shit?
Yeah, I do. I think so.
I think that's kind of nice. Because I feel like a lot of animal abuse probably went by unnoticed before, but now that everybody always records everything they see.
I mean, just yeah, you're walking down the street, obviously, but like even like places that are like quote unquote like private, like the slaughterhouses and stuff. I mean, you know. That's all coming into light, and that's somewhere that's in the deepest, darkest, like trying to be hidden away, like very like deliberate stuff that's trying to be hidden. So yeah, like out in the middle of Manhattan, where everybody, everyone has a cell phone that has the capability of taking video. Yeah, I think so. Because every time one of these horses loses their shit, it is all over everywhere. There's pictures, there's videos, there's everything. So.
I remember there were a bunch of YouTube videos and Instagram videos of when those little kids were torturing animals too, like some middle school or high school kids. I just feel like that kind of stuff in some podunk town and wherever, that nobody would have known about it.
Yeah, and I think also as a generational thing, even millennials like of my generation and like back and younger, have this need to document and do everything, even when they don't realize that what they're documenting, if they have problems, could land them in trouble. I mean, they're filming themselves doing this stuff a lot of the time, like bad things, So whatever.
They think they're cool. Or
keep it up because you're just digging your own grave, I guess. But yeah, so this was everywhere. So the executive director of NY Class, which we've talked about before, which is the group in New York that's been trying for years to get carriage horses banned. The carriage rides banned in New York. Says after what he's been through, he deserves a life of rest and care. And that's why I said that they wanted to make sure that Arthur is his name, can live out his life in a sanctuary that they themselves have approved, which includes a sanctuary in Syracuse and one in New Jersey. So he's out of the situation at the moment. Oh, and one thing that I found, like, the horse's owner was trying to justify the kind of life that his horse was in. He said the horse's previous career was pulling tourist carriages in Cleveland, Ohio. So he said, so he was already a city slicker. I'm sorry, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. It is a city. It is not downtown. It is not Manhattan. Okay, even though a horse doesn't belong in downtown Cleveland, but to compare Manhattan and downtown Cleveland is just laughable as far as like the noise, the traffic, the people. I mean, for an animal, you know what I mean? Like, I was just laughed when I saw that because I'm like, that is not the same thing. Even though a horse doesn't belong in Cleveland either, in downtown Cleveland either, pulling anybody. But I was just like, okay, that's the same thing. Okay, he's obviously never been to Cleveland, so I just thought, they think that's a justification because he used to be in Cleveland. Poor thing. Okay, yeah, so it's a better ending, but we'll see if they he ends up going to another sanctuary. He just stays where he is. So his situation has improved. So baby steps.
Yay, Arthur.
Yay. Okay. So this article is titled "How a Debilitating Skin Condition Led a TV Producer to Start a Vegan Watch Company." So I thought this was interesting. So there was this lady, and it kind of brings up in 2014. She had this a condition called tropical steroid withdrawal, TSW. So it caused her to, like, she just had, like, her skin was basically, like, falling off, like, all of her skin, like, just peeling off and, like, falling off. And so the only way she felt like she had any relief was to sit in a bathtub. So she would be, like, spend, like, 20 hours in the bath a day because she's the only way she'd get any relief. It was just, like, a complete flare-up. And she still does get flare-ups, but, like, it's off and on. So she was a vegetarian already, but during this, like, long time of just sitting in a bathtub trying to deal with the pain, she was watched a lot of documentaries, including Cowspiracy, and she became a vegan through this experience. Kind of got back on her feet. She said her watch strap broke, and when she was replacing it, the only ones that she really, I mean, obviously you can get cloth straps and plastic and everything, but she couldn't find one that really met her needs that wasn't leather. And oh, here we go. She says, "I had a whole new perspective on skin. Having lost my own skin, I knew there was no way I'd ever wear the skin of another being again. I looked everywhere for a vegan replacement for my watch strap, but couldn't find any I liked, so I started Votch, which I knew would be the perfect vehicle to give back." So the name of her company that she started is called Votch. So it's vegan watches, and the straps are all interchangeable.
Like swatches.
Yeah, like Swatch, Votch.
But for grown-ups.
Yeah, so they're like unisex. I saw the picture of them. They're actually quite nice. They're unisex, and they're very simple watches. But and for people that vegans, so like my husband is very into watches. So like people that are very into watches and are vegan, there's a big gap there. There's a big gap in that market because a lot of nice watches come on leather. So you know, if you're really into watches and you want to be ethical about it, there is some work to be done there. So I thought this was interesting.
Are you gonna get him a watch from there?
If he wants one, I haven't even told it about him yet. I haven't even told him.
You could surprise him for Valentine's Day.
That's a little soon. It's like 2 days from now. She's based in the UK too. So it's been like steadily growing a lot. It's like still very much in the startup phase, but they said that in 2018 sales are set to be up 150% more than the previous year. So you mostly can buy them directly from the website, but they're trying to get them into some independent retail outlets. They're about $200, which on the watch scale is pretty cheap. So that's pretty reasonable.
That's insane to me.
Do you wear a watch?
No.
Yeah.
I have a pocket computer. It tells me what time it is at all times.
That costs more than this watch.
But I have to have that. It's not like my watch is gonna also do all the other things I need.
It is if you have an Apple Watch.
Yeah, an Apple Watch I could see spending $200 on.
Yeah. Well, like if you're into watches, or you're not interested in having that all the time, or having something like this, and you're vegan, you know, that's a good option. Because some people don't want it on they don't want their phone on their wrist. They don't want their phone always, like, you know, that's what we want, but some people don't want that, you know. There are people who have been vegan for more than 20 years that have been waiting for a product like this, and there are 20-somethings who are just beginning to embark on a cruelty-free lifestyle. So she says that they kept their design simple, classic, and unisex, so they could cater to as many people as possible, because it is a niche market. It said people still wear watches as accessories, so like they would jewelry, so she wanted to design them with that in mind. She says, so they were a desirable addition to just checking the time on your phone.
It's just not rewarding enough to check the time on your phone.
I already talked about that. So the straps are made from materials including woven cotton, polyester, environmentally friendly TPE, which is a type of rubber, and PU, and Pinilex, which is pineapple leather. Interesting.
It's made out of pineapple skin or pineapple leaves?
I'm not sure. It just says pineapple leather. We'll have to Google it and see what that actually,
cool.
what part of the pineapple that actually is.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and also every 3 months, like in line with the season, seasons of fashion, they donate 10% of their profits to an animal charity or an organization that promotes kinder living. So she's very giving back, and charity is very closely ingrained in this company. So I thought that was a nice thing, especially when we are talking and reporting a lot on like all these companies going like for free, or they're offering a vegan like leather option, but they're like an omni whatever brand. So this is an all vegan brand that's a small company, and they're donating money to organizations that their buyer, their customers are, invested in. So like animal rights organizations. So I think it'd be good to support them. So our last story is pork publication admits fear over LA's vegan school lunch program. So this is a really interesting one.
Admits fear?
Admits fear over. So you know that quite a few, I don't know if it says exactly how many, but there are quite a few schools in LA County that are offering vegan options through the school lunch program. So Farm Journal's Pork Industry magazine recently published an article about LA's vegan school program, urging that the meat industry does need to watch and take a proactive stand against these actions. Okay, so it says, so at 35 schools are adopting vegan options in their cafeteria, and it was inspired by students who wanted to have a healthier option, and also a lot of these kids are very concerned about like environmental impacts, because this is the world they're growing up in. Like they're growing up in like a global warming,
shit show.
Era. Yeah, like, while global warming was already well on its way when we were growing up, it wasn't something that we had to really think about as children. This is something that's such a big deal now that it's into the world of children, it's something that they have to think about, or that's on their minds because it's so prevalent now. So the kids, wanted to have these options. So, and it says the program has had great success, with students choosing the vegan option around 13% of the time. And sometimes they run out quickly because they are so popular. And they're looking to expand further to increase the plant-based options, and more schools are joining the program. So this is all really good news. But it's not good news for the meat industry, obviously. And I wouldn't even have thought that they would even blink an eye at this, because to them it's an unflappable thing that no one ever is going to not eat meat, and it's never really going to affect their bottom line. I feel like that's how they kind of think, you know what I mean? But they definitely, in this article, like as the title says, that they admitted some fear over this. So Pork reached out to the school board directly, asking about the caloric value of the meals, what was the protein content of the meals, and the school just said, calories don't play a role in the pilot program, but we believe that our food is healthy. And said that research has found that 1 in 10 adults consume the recommended amount of fruit and vegetables daily. So I
think
in
how many?
1 in 10. So they're concerned that these kids eating this vegan food isn't healthy, even though 1 in 10 adults don't get the proper nutrition every day.
Oh, they're concerned.
Yeah. So and it goes on. You can read the article. It goes on to cite all of the kind of research about why it is more beneficial for the kids to not be eating crappy meat, especially public school lunch food, okay? That has not been historically the best quality food, even if you are eating meat. So I think this is a really good thing for them. So this goes on more about that. And it said the initial school board featured multiple speakers who applauded the campaign, though Pork reminded its readers that some presenters were happy to state their opinion as fact, even though it's far from it. It's not the first time that the animal industry has expressed concern about veganism. The dairy industry previously feared that school children were becoming vegan activists. Well, we can only hope, right? So Pork assured readers that the vegan/vegetarian movement is more a fad than a trend, but later admits that these motives are likely to continue. So
what's the difference between a fad and a trend? I don't even understand this.
Well, I think a fad, we'll have to look at dictionary.com for this, but how I took it was A fad is something that comes in strong. Like, people get all obsessed with it, like Pokemon Go. I know you still play it. But I think the average, it's trended down, I think, after, like, maybe the first couple months. Like, a lot of people got into it. It was a fad. Everybody was, like, hanging around in the middle of the street and stuff. And it declined. There are still people that do it. A trend, it's, like, trending steadily upward.
Forever?
And it just keeps going. Well, it could.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have to always be forever. But it's not like it's not quite a flash in the pan. So, but what they're saying doesn't really make sense because it says it's likely to continue. This is good. And if they're getting scared about it, that's even better.
Yeah.
And they're putting it in print. This isn't even like those emails that came out about like with Hampton Creek and like the egg board and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Where this was just like found and like put out there. This is like published article that they're telling people like we need to like be, on guard about this. Like we need to be concerned and stuff. So
yeah. It didn't have to be uncovered. It
interesting.
Was just there.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Be afraid.
Be very afraid.
The
vegans are coming
over.
to get you. We're gonna leave like some soy bacon on your doorstep and then ring the doorbell and run away. Like the vegans have been here. Okay. So Robin, what's been happening at the dollhouse?
So, speaking of leaving soy bacon on their doorstep.
Oh my god, I didn't even see that. It would have been the best segue if I did it on purpose. Well, it was, but it was an accident.
I finally published my bacon recipe. I just wasn't comfortable with it until this last time, but I finally got it right, and it's not gluten-free. I tried making it gluten-free. It just wasn't. It didn't really do it for me. But the flavor is good. You tried it. What do you think?
I did. Very smoky. I think we talked about this. Yeah, it was very, very smoky. It was good.
It doesn't have the consistency of the kind of bacon that people would want if they were a meat eater. It has the consistency of like the kind of bacon I like, which was like before I was vegan, the Morningstar Farms one. Do you remember that one? The consistency of that, and it has kind of the consistency of like the Sweet Earth one or the Upton's one.
Yeah, I like the Sweet Earth. That's the one I have is a Sweet Earth. That's what I buy.
It's not going to be the
bacon.
consistency of like the Butcher's Son bacon or like the ones that are very realistic, because I actually don't like those because they are a little too similar.
Yeah.
But the one thing that's good about it is that it's made with adzuki beans, which are really good for you. So you can find that on vegandollhouse.com. And then I used the bacon to recreate actually a spaghetti squash that I had at the Butcher's Daughter in Venice. And it was like delicious. I used to make a spaghetti squash that was similar, but now I've changed my spaghetti squash recipe to be more like theirs, and it has the bacon in it. So that's posted also. It's not an attractive dish, spaghetti squash.
Yeah, I could see.
So I wasn't
Even
excited
for you,
about putting it on there.
Even for you, I think that might be a challenge.
Yeah. But I made some radish mice
Unless you
to go on top.
Yeah, or unless you like made it like hair on something. Like
yeah.
Like a bacon face and then put the hair around it.
It would have to be like some gross Halloween thing
creepy.
for sure.
I just creep myself out.
I know, the machete talk was fine. That was like, that was just back across
spaghetti
the
squash haired monster. Oh my god.
And then the third thing I made this month was a chocolate orange cake, which I also made a few times before I finally published it. And I don't think, did you have any of that? I don't think you did.
I don't think so, but I would be into that.
I think I took one to a birthday party in San Francisco, and I took the other one to a birthday at work. So I didn't get to share any of that, but I would make it again. It's really good. And I didn't think I would really be that into chocolate and orange, because, when you get the chocolate bars that are orange flavored, I'm kind of like, take it or leave it.
Yeah, it's not like one of my favorite combos, but when I have it, I enjoy it. But I'm never like, I want orange and chocolate together.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
So
I was trying to make use of the orange season, but it's
bake
pretty
seasonally.
good. Yeah.
I don't do that.
I know you and your tomatoes. I know.
My hot house tomatoes.
We know all about your ways. Thank you. So those, and I did make one other thing, which is, I haven't gifted them yet, but they're Valentine heart wands. It's not Valentine's Day yet for those of us who are recording this. For those of you who are listening to it, it is long gone.
You did gift it, because I got one. I got one over there.
It could be disgusting. You have no idea.
I doubt it. It's cute. It's cute.
It's like a Rice Krispie treat, but it's on a stick and it has glitter on it. So I call it a heart wand.
I was gonna say like a.
Yeah, what would you call it?
I was thinking of something pop, like something pop, like a heart pop, or
Yeah.
like a. I don't know.
Poppin' time?
Love pop.
Love
Poppin'
pop,
time.
baby, love pop.
Poppin' time.
Poppin' time is
cute. Poppin' time.
So that's all I made this month. But I tasted a couple of things that I would like to mention. Which is...
Something past my taste buds I'd like to mention.
I, for my first time ever, had nachos for breakfast. If you guys have ever considered that nachos shouldn't only be a lunch and dinner thing, then go to Timeless because they make breakfast nachos with like tofu scramble and sausage and like breakfast foods on top. The only thing that could have made it more perfect, I think, is if it wasn't chips and it was tater tots. But, you know, can't complain.
I'm not a huge nacho person, though.
I never order nachos normally.
I'm also a sweet breakfast person. I mean, I will have savory occasionally, but I prefer sweet breakfast.
Yeah, so you would have got the carrot cake waffle, which was the other option.
Oh, yeah. I would have liked that.
For those of you who just heard that sound and didn't see the face that went with it, I'm so sorry that you missed it because it was good.
I gotta recollect myself for a second. Yeah, that would have been what I went with.
It was good. I tasted that also, but I'm definitely more of a savory brunch person.
That's savory. I'm sweet.
It's nice to have both because then you taste each other's.
Yeah.
Because I always want like a bite of the sweet thing.
Oh, I'm like, you can have half a bite of my sweet thing. The rest is for me.
And he's okay with it.
Well, sometimes we share a third thing in
wow.
the middle. That we get 50-50.
I always think I can do a third thing. Like when last time we went to dinner at Apple and I was like, oh, we'll get this other thing and we'll share it. I can't. I just can't
Then
always eat a second.
You just get another dinner later. You take it.
Yeah, exactly. It always has to be for later.
Mm-hmm.
And then because it's Valentine week, everyone in Oakland is making heart-shaped donuts, you guys.
I don't know. It's all over the place.
It's the best. It's so great. So Timeless had heart-shaped strawberry and raspberry donuts, and Vegan Donut Gelato had a heart-shaped Boston cream donut.
I haven't even had donuts for a while, I feel like.
It's because you're trying to be good. I have donuts in my kitchen if you would like some.
Oh.
We gotta go.
Damn it.
Podcast over, bye.
Damn it. They haven't been exposed lately.
Yeah.
I guess
I'm
I'm
exposed
exposed now.
Some exposure over here.
I thought I felt like somebody was watching me from that kitchen doorway. It's those fucking donuts.
Did you hear them whispering to you?
They're like,
Whispering sweet nothings.
I'm filled with goodness and carbs. You don't need to fit into your pants. Pants are for losers. And then
that's why I don't wear pants.
And then the next thing you know, I'm picked up by the police walking down your street with donut smeared all over my face and my underwear, just like a zombie walking down the street. That's where it ends up.
The police would never. I would come and rescue you before that happened.
Here's your pants, Ashley. If you put your pants on, I'll give you another donut, and then you might.
That's how I get everyone to get dressed.
Yeah. Put a donut on a little string, like you go.
Well, now you know I don't wear pants. I prefer donuts over pants.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. It's a good life
donuts
strategy.
and dresses.
Yeah.
That's my...
Yeah, we're rebranding.
If I have a tagline.
Right, donuts and dresses.
So that's all I've been eating this week. What have you been making or eating anything?
We've always eaten stuff, but I went to Muir's for their Valentine's Day afternoon tea. So since Valentine's Day is on a Wednesday, like, who come up with that idea? Like, stupid. Middle of the week. So I was like, we did our Valentine's Day thing on Saturday. We went to Muir's. And so they always have their, like, normal tea stuff, but I got their Valentine's Day tea. So they had a Club of Hearts finger sandwich, a Love Boat, asparagus canapé, a little tart, which was with beets and onions, a
Was
tea
the
infused
tart
scone.
heart-shaped?
The tart was not.
Oh,
The Club of Hearts sandwich, the finger sandwich, that was heart-shaped. So there was a tea infused scone with, of course, their clotted cream and jam. They had a little cupcake, a Valentine's Day cookie, a chocolate dessert cup filled with coconut cream and fruit, and then a chocolate covered strawberry, which you always gotta have, you know.
Because it's the romantic
you
fruit.
get the chocolate covered strawberry or go home.
There's some show on Netflix, and of course I can't remember the name of it, but it's like this kid who like has sensory issues, so he has to wear like headphones. And it's like someone tells him that chocolate covered strawberries are like the romantic food, and so he likes this chick, and he like wants to give her.
Oh, you can't lose unless like.
Unless she's already in a relationship and she's your therapist.
Or
yeah.
she's like Matt doesn't like fruit. Like
Even covered in chocolate? No.
he might eat like one.
I
maybe,
mean,
but and I'm like,
one's
okay, that's
good.
fine.
Yeah.
I got you this gift. You only ate one. I can
yeah,
have
then
the
I get the
rest.
rest. God, I wish David would only eat one of everything I gave him.
Oh, you don't. Oh, that's right. You don't like fruit. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just take that away. Get that out of your face.
You're like, I forgot.
I forgot. Oh, you know me and my memory. So yeah, it was very cute. I'll post some pictures on Instagram.
I'm just gonna
it was
ask
good.
the question that all our listeners want to know right now.
Okay.
Which is better, Valentine tea at Muir's or Harry Potter tea at Muir's?
They definitely go all out more for the Harry Potter.
Okay.
They didn't like do it. It wasn't decorated like.
Oh.
It was still like it was winter decorations still. It wasn't like because Harry Potter they do the whole shabam and they've got the music and they've got everything. Everything was normal, but the tea like the actual like tea rack was all done. They had the special stuff for Valentine's Day, so
Harry Potter wins?
I would say probably Harry Potter, just because
it's an experience.
It's the whole thing. The whole atmosphere is different. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks. Okay, so we're super lucky to have Hannah with us today. And for somebody who may remember, we had her on before. Is she our first repeat interviewee? So we want to welcome blogger, photographer, and cookbook author Hannah Kaminsky.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me and for having me back. Quite an honor.
So one of the reasons why we wanted to have you back, in addition to you being an awesome guest, obviously, is that you just released a brand new cookbook. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. So it's called Real Food Really Fast. And the whole premise is that it's delicious food, breakfast, snacks, appetizers, main dishes, desserts, the whole 9 yards. And every recipe in there can be made in 10 minutes or less.
So that is the really remarkable part of this, because I feel like, so you know what my blog looks like, where everything takes forever.
Like a week.
To make. Yeah.
It's amazing and adorable. Like everything that you do is a work of art.
The majority of people maybe don't want to spend all of their free time cooking.
I think like one of my top things I say when we're talking about Robin's stuff that she makes, and it's so cute and it's wonderful, and then I'm like, nobody got time for that. I say that constantly on this podcast because I'm like, I don't have time for that. So like this is for me, this interview. Like I'm that person. I look at a recipe and I'm like, okay, like if it takes me more than like 10 seconds to like look at all the ingredients, like read through everything, I'm like, nope, it's too long, too much time. I gotta find something like more simple.
Exactly. Exactly why I wrote this book, because I love a good food project and I can get so into it. I mean, I love sourdoughs that take weeks. I love the fermented vegetables that can just forever. But if we're talking about I'm hungry now, I want to eat now. I don't want to start, tinkering with it and making it beautiful and taking out freezers and whatnot. I need, something substantial. And I really would rather not dig into the freezer or call up some, delivery. The internet has these tools and these ingredients. A lot of people tell me they don't have the time or they're not good enough cook. And I wrote this to sort of debunk those myths. Anyone can cook, anyone can make healthy meals, and it doesn't take away.
Yeah, so there's like two really good points you touched on. One is you don't want to order delivery. And in my mind, that like kind of means two things. One, it means you want to eat healthier, because a lot of times when you get delivery, it's very caloric and very high in fat and things that some people want to avoid if they're trying to watch their health. And then I was also thinking, not everyone is as lucky as we are and can just order vegan food from down the street. There's probably a lot of people who live in places where they
The
kind
grocery
of
store
need
is
to
their
go.
vegan restaurant,
Yeah.
so they have to like be an active participant in like making their vegan food. They can't just call and order every night. If we wanted to, we could.
Exactly. That is so true. And that also brings up another point. I want to make these recipes completely accessible. So not using any crazy ingredients you gotta go to the specialty grocery store or order online. You can't find anywhere else. These are just normal pantry staples. You probably can make half of these recipes already with what you have on hand. You don't even need to go to the store. So it should be very approachable. And I mean, if you're going to be intimidated by the recipe, you don't know what the ingredients are or how it's going to taste, you're not going to make that. So there's really no point.
And so, would you say that if somebody lived in a place where the only grocery store they had was like Piggly Wiggly, then they could find the ingredients for most of the recipes?
Yeah, you could do this. You got this.
Yeah,
So
your biggest problem is that you
that
live
you live
somewhere that has
somewhere
the
with only Piggly
like the
Wiggly.
grocery store
I
called Piggly
know.
Wiggly.
You got bigger problems then. But seriously, we're talking canned beans, fresh vegetables, flour. It's not crazy stuff. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, totally. What was my other question? Oh, okay. So you cook a lot, obviously, and so do you
I
think
do.
that that you spending 10 minutes is actually somebody who's a beginner cook spending 10 minutes?
Worried about that. When I first sent this out to recipe tellers, I was just dying because I thought for sure everyone's gonna be so pissed off. It's gonna take them half a day. But I was so happy with the results. There were only a few times when I had to go back and make some tweaks to sort of cut down on the time because a lot of it is just being prepared and having things on hand, things ready to go. So that means having your pantry stocked with the canned beans. You can just drain and dump in a bowl and get going. Having the right spice blends or having your onions chopped and frozen in advance. That's my biggest life hack. I bring home a big bag of onions, I chop them all, and I freeze them. So even if I don't know what I'm going to cook, if I just start onions cooking, I'm already halfway there.
So do you take them straight from the freezer and into the pan? You don't have to defrost them?
Yeah, no, because they're already diced, they thaw out instantly.
Oh, interesting. And the extra, there's not any extra water or anything that makes the grease splatter when you.
No, I've never had that.
Oh my gosh, I've never done this.
Very magical. It's really revolutionized my cooking.
Yeah, it sounds really smart. Except when you're chopping the onions, are you crying? Because chopping a whole bag of onions seems like a lot.
It's true. I know I can't do it all, but I don't know what to tell you. Onion goggles, they don't work. It's a lie. You gotta let out sometimes. You gotta have a good cry. It's good for you. Express yourself. Yeah. Just put on like super angsty music, get all into it. It'll be worth it.
So I'm curious because I'm always kind of enamored by anyone who can write a cookbook because to me it just seems like this incredibly giant task. And so I'm curious how long it took you to write this book from like when you first thought of it till it was like done.
So it's kind of crazy. I don't even know what the industry standard is these days, but I know that it would usually take longer than this. This was my fastest book, which is pretty apt. I would say from the time that the contract was signed to the time that I sent in the manuscript, let me remember, that was like 8 months.
You've written so
Crazy.
many, right? How many cookbooks have you written?
This is the fifth.
Okay, so maybe you're just getting really efficient.
I'd like to think that, like I'm getting that good, but this one has been so different than the other four. It's really wild. I mean, from the process of creation to the reception that it's gotten, I'm just floored by the whole thing. It's been so exciting. I just have to say, it's already sold out from the warehouse. So any of the last copies right now on Amazon, snap those up because it's going to be out of print until May after that.
Oh, that was one of our questions. So,
Oh yeah, I'm cutting the chase.
no, it's good to know. Okay, so right now well, by the time this post, there probably won't be any left, but
we can still hope.
but we'll keep.
You can still get the pre-orders, and you can still get the Kindle version. So it's out there. Just be a little patient if you want the hard copy.
Are they going to do a reprint then?
Yeah, immediately. I mean, they're already printing. It's just that lag. They need to get them actually.
Oh, interesting. So they print them in batches. I don't know anything about how the cookbook industry works or any book industry because I don't read. So Ashley probably knows more about it than I do.
I'm the reader of the duo here for sure.
So I made one of your recipes, but I didn't actually look much at the other ones. I'm curious if there are any like gluten-free or any recipes that you would recommend for people with allergies.
Oh yeah, so the beauty of this book is that sort of automatically or subconsciously, I just made this almost entirely gluten-free. And I looked at this more in depth because a lot of people have been asking me, like, is it gluten-free? What can I do with that? There's only about 5 recipes that aren't already naturally gluten-free, and they can all be altered by using just a gluten-free flour blend instead of all-purpose. And there's only one that absolutely cannot be because it's got vital wheat gluten to make seitan. So sorry, you can't have the burgers, but everything else can be or is gluten-free.
That's so cool. And you didn't even like aim to do that. It just happened.
Yeah, just, make it easy. I don't know. Because I guess a big part of that was that I couldn't really bake anything for the time that it would take for the oven to preheat. So I didn't really want to rely on flour that wouldn't have be able to cook out the taste of raw flour.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Wait, do you have dessert recipes that take less than 10 minutes?
Oh yeah, a whole section. I mean, come on. Going from 4 cookbooks to of all desserts to having one without any, couldn't do that. And also true to form, as all my cookbooks do, I have one dog treat in there, so everyone is covered.
Aw.
That's adorbs. It is. When we did our bake sale fundraiser, we had dog treats for the dogs.
It's so important. They're the fur babies, little children.
Oh. Okay, so it's good for gluten free. How I wonder if people do have questions about your book. Like what if somebody was thinking about getting it but they had a nut allergy and they wanted to know how many recipes would be good for them? Is there a way that people could contact you to find out? Like could they contact you through your Instagram or
I love it when people reach out with questions. I think it's wonderful because it means like you're actually looking at the book, using the book, not just flipping through the book and putting it back. So please don't ever hesitate to reach out. Instagram, Facebook, my blog, my email, any way you can find me, I am checking all of them.
nice. Okay, good. So we can put all that in the show notes for people.
Please do. I am out there. I live online. I'm very accessible.
Do you have any favorite recipes?
That's the worst question. I have struggled with that so much. I know among testers, one of the biggest hits was the buttered buffalo pecans. And I keep making that for my book signings, and I think people are getting hooked on it. Um, Personally, maybe the cashew scampi is one of my favorite dinners.
Tell me what scampi is, because I think I don't know.
It's usually just a very simple butter garlic sauce, some parsley, black pepper. I mean, like super low key, really classic, nostalgic comfort food kind of deal.
And then what do you put it on?
Spaghetti, always.
Oh, okay.
And as far as desserts go, by far, the cashew milkshakes, oh, they're magical. I love it.
Is it with frozen fruit?
It can be if you want a fruit flavor, but I really want it to be a milkshake, not a smoothie. So it's really cashew based.
So is it ice cream that you store by? I'm trying to figure out how to do
Nope.
this in 10 minutes.
Come on, you've got the book. You should be looking at this. It's so wonderful because it's not ice cream, it's not fruit. It's really just cashews blended with ice. So you can make it in an instant, and you don't need to buy the expensive ice cream because if I'm buying the expensive ice cream, I want to eat the expensive ice cream. I'm not going to blend it to smithereens. So, yeah, and this is a lot cheaper and healthier because you can control the sugar.
Yeah, totally. So is that something that you think anybody could make with any kind of blender? Like if they had a blender from Target?
Mm, may not be as good. I mean, just try blending ice and see how that goes. If you can get that smooth, you would be happy with this. But you would definitely be a lot better off with something with more power, gotta say.
So people can look it up on Amazon, and hopefully it's in stock, and they can pre-order it through Amazon. So when it does come in stock, they can just ship it out.
Yes, and then that's a great way to do it because you'll be first in line when it's back available.
Okay, I do that with my comics on Amazon, so I figured it was the same with the cookbooks.
Oh God, I order everything on Amazon. Amazon owns me.
Well, this has been extremely insightful. I'm super excited that you joined us, and I was wondering if you have any events coming up that you want to promote.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm going to Seattle for the very first time, which seems crazy because I'm so close. And that's going to be for the Seattle Veg Fest in April. And then after that, I am going to the Vegetarian Food Festival in New York, and that is in May. So catch me in both those
Are
places.
you going to mostly be walking around, or are you going to actually be at a booth?
I'm going to be doing a demo. I'm doing two demos at the Seattle Veg Fest both days, and then one demo at New York because that's only one day, of course.
And are the demos going to be recipes that are in your new book?
They will.
It's exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting. Okay.
It is.
Well, I know I have to get my hands on this because when you told me about this, I was like, "That's for me!" Because I like it to be quick, and to get on with my life. So,
Okay,
well, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
Is it time for Wag or Whimper?
Yeah.
Okay, this is our segment where we talk about a vegan thing that we tried for the very first time and we decide if it made us wag or whimper. My whimper.
Well, this is a wag turned whimper.
This is a wag turned
Very
whimper.
sad. I am very sad. Things can turn.
So,
why?
Things can turn.
Why?
Usually they turn the other way.
Yeah.
Not a moo used to be horrible. Now it's good.
I've only had it good, so I guess I lucked out on that one.
Yeah, you did.
You're making me sad because if you never gave me this in the first place, I wouldn't have known what I was missing. I never would have got it.
Oh.
But I had a few nice
It's my
moments.
fault,
A few times I had it.
Yeah, just remember those moments.
I know.
I wish-
Remember the good times
Yeah.
with timeless breakfast roll.
Maybe I should just learn how to make it.
That or that.
Like the good,
Yeah.
the way that it was.
And you can supply me with them.
So for anyone who lives in the Bay Area or visits the Bay Area a lot, you should no longer order the breakfast roll from Timeless because they changed the recipe and it is now disgusting.
Oh,
Sorry.
this is sad. This is a Valentine's Day episode and it's breaking my heart.
Sorry.
She texted me and she's like, oh, like, or something. I don't know. Somehow you were going on about it. I don't know if you were actually texting me or if it was on Instagram or something. And you're like, oh, it's so bad. I'm like, oh, maybe it was just a bad batch. You're like, no, I asked and they changed the recipe. I was like, no.
I know. I was so hoping it was a bad batch. Jocelyn was like, why don't you just ask them? Just ask them. And I was like, you're right. I should because I wasn't going to eat it. It was completely inedible.
Okay.
And so I went up and I was like, so can you tell me a little bit about why this looks like this?
What happened? What happened?
And they were like, oh, we changed the recipe. It's like that now. And I was like,
What did you say? Did you
like,
let them know that you were like, nah?
oh, that's so disappointing.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, give me my money back. I refused. I didn't spit on them or anything. I was just like, oh, that's really disappointing.
And I think that's a good reaction. Like, let them know you don't like it, but yeah,
Yeah.
not being crazy.
Don't get banned.
Don't get banned. There's still other good things there that you want to enjoy.
There are. The pepperoni pizza roll is still delicious.
Everything's good.
Just continue to get that.
Oh,
I know.
that is sad.
It was my
to
favorite.
me. Maybe enough people will complain. If no one buys it anymore and it's bad, they're gonna change it back.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because that's all. I mean, the point is to be able to buy them. Right?
Yeah, they changed the name of it too.
Oh, what'd they change it to?
It's called an everything roll now.
It's nothing.
It's a nothing roll.
Everything. What a slap in the face that title is.
Everything you never dreamed of.
You know what? Keep your everything roll and then make the breakfast roll.
Awful. They're the worst. Anyway, that's my whimper. Oh, so sorry. The new Timeless Breakfast Roll 2.0 made me whimper.
And growl.
Oh, we can add a new one.
When it really pisses us off. Come on, Timeless. You do everything so well. Bring it back.
Bring it back.
We won't be mad anymore. Promise. I'll buy 2 next time.
Oh my god.
I wish I would have known that the last time I had one would have been the last time.
I know. I wonder if we could have frozen. I could have filled my freezer with them. Remember when Shane and Marie stopped making their vegan cream cheese? The second I saw it on Instagram, I was like, go to Rainbow, buy them all. I stocked those things in my freezer for weeks.
Vegan problems, I tell you.
Yep. So to counterbalance my whimper, I have a wag. I tried the Upton's bacon mac and cheese. Have you tried it?
Did I?
Did you already wag it?
Did I? I feel like this is familiar.
Did I?
We should do a search real quick.
Do a search. So it's the same as I guess it's the same
right now.
As a typical... Yes. The differences about it being a typical mac and cheese are you don't have to boil the pasta and then
this
add
isn't frozen?
stuff. No, it's not frozen.
Okay,
it's
so
shelf
I think
stable.
No, then I didn't because the thing I did was frozen.
Okay.
Never mind.
I remember you did review a chow mac and cheese once.
That's what it was. It was the frozen one, yeah.
So this one is much different than any boxed mac and cheese I've ever gotten because it comes cooked basically. It's pasta in a sauce and you just put it in the pot and heat it up. Mm-hmm. So it's like ready in moments. And it has Upton's bacon in it, which I really like Upton's bacon. So I would definitely recommend it if you ever find it on sale. But if you don't find it on sale, you may not feel that
it was worth it.
Yeah, it's a little expensive. It's like $7, I think. Which I think is what was your complaint about the chow one.
Yeah. I think chow was pricey. Like almost $8. I had their bacon mac and cheese at their place. Like at their
And did you
cafeteria.
Like it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's probably similar to that.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Was it $7 there?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. But it was good.
Yeah, it's really good. I haven't been disappointed with anything made by Upton's.
I don't think I was even paying attention to anything because that was like Matt's first meal after his food poisoning. So I wasn't even caring about what anything cost. We were just like, no sleep. He was still sick. I was just like, give us our food. So I have no idea. I don't even remember.
So the Upton's bacon mac and cheese made me wag.
Yay, and on a high note.
Are we done?
I think so.
Are we going to leave them?
With a whisper. It won't get recorded.
And that's the end of episode 29.
Surprise! That's the end. You didn't know that this was coming.
Oh my god. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we are still on Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube Breaker. We have a new RSS feed, which may
you don't need to be concerned
make it
about.
so that you're not subscribed. You might have to do it again. And if you've never subscribed, then you obviously need to do it right now, immediately. If you are listening to us and there's no way to rate us, then you can just send us an email and be like, you guys are worth 5 stars. Love ya.
We'll take it.
We'll take that instead. That's great. And what else? Oh, we have a new email address. I signed us up for an email address because I was like, I want people to email us, yet I never know what email address to give them. Okay. So now we have an email address. It's dollsanddonuts@gmail.com. And of course, donuts is spelled the traditional way because Ashley is a traditionalist. I don't even know what that means.
guess when it comes to spelling the word donut, I am. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And Ashley has a website. You should go to it. What is it?
It's called theveganadventure.com. It's not updated, sorry about it, but there's plenty of stuff on there.
It's updated enough, and it has all the
got
travels.
Stuff. Yeah, it's all the travels. I know we said we was going to talk about my Austin trip this time, but this episode's going to be long enough already, so we'll pick that up next time.
Okay, so yes. So if you're traveling anywhere and you want to know what vegan food to eat, go to theveganadventure.com, and Ashley will guide you on what to do. And if you like to make recipes that take a really long time, go to vegandollhouse.com.
Which everyone loves to do.
And if you like to make recipes that don't take that much time, then check out our show notes for how to find Hannah's cookbook. Should we say bye?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Dolls and donuts, dolls and donuts. We are two dolls. We like animals. As a bonus, we eat donuts.